Hi, this is Jack Stanley, and I'd like to talk about a gift of prophecy. I'm not talking about Jean Dixon or her book, in which she prophesies the death of John F. Kennedy 6 months after the assassination. I wanted to talk about something true, something that is a true gift of prophecy, and that has to deal with an individual by the name of Benjamin Rush. Now today, nobody knows who Benjamin Rush is, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. He was the father of American psychiatry. He was a great doctor. He did amazing things, and he was a good friend of Thomas Jefferson and John Adams. John Adams was a Federalist. Thomas Jefferson was a Republican. A Republican back in those days was more like a Democrat. A Federalist was like a Republican today. Politics gets confusing, and of course, just like today, it was just as bad as it was then. The thing was that Thomas Jefferson was very liberal, John Adams was very conservative. They didn't see eye to eye on anything. Even though they were dear, dear friends who loved each other, they eventually parted company, absolutely hating each other. Much of it had to do with the revolution in France, because Benjamin Franklin had helped France, and of course he had indoctrinated Jefferson into France. And Jefferson pushed for a revolution in France, and it turned out to be a disaster. John Adams told him so, and he was not happy about that. Now, the thing was also that the American Revolution had been bloodless, basically. I mean, there was blood loss, but basically people weren't killing each other. In France, it was terrible. But the French Revolution led much to the separation between John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. And this is where Benjamin Rush comes in. He had tried for a long time to get these two stubborn guys to talk to each other, and they refused. Each had their own ideology, each had their own political base, each had their own idea of what right was. Benjamin Rush tried and tried and tried, and finally he wrote a letter to John Adams. And he said, in a dream, he opened up a history book. And in that history book it said that in the year of 1809, the relationship between John Adams and Thomas Jefferson was rekindled. And that these two great individuals swallowed their pride and accepted each other and started to write. And they wrote letters to each other for many, many years. And that these letters are treasured by historians. And that these two great patriots died and fell into the grave at practically the same time. It was an incredible letter. It took a while for it to work. But finally, in 1812, the relationship between John Adams and Thomas Jefferson was rekindled, much through the efforts of Benjamin Rush. As soon as they got together, they started writing letters to each other. And these letters are priceless and treasured by historians. And yes, they did fall into the grave at practically the same time. In fact, it was the same day, July 4th, 1826, to the day, the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Now, what about Benjamin Rush? So he wrote this letter. That's great. He could have written the letter years and years afterwards. I have to tell you, Benjamin Rush, as soon as Jefferson and Adams rekindled their friendship, died. That gift of prophecy was nothing short of incredible. It was a true gift of prophecy, because everything that he said in that letter came true, unlike other people who write prophecy, like Jean Dixon.